Hello and welcome back to View from the Top analysis. Guinness, Smirnoff, Johnnie Walker, Captain Morgan, just some of the well-known brands owned by Diageo, the world's biggest alcoholic drinks maker, which is now hoping the emerging markets will deliver more of its growth. Chief executive of the company for more than 10 years is Paul Walsh, this week's guest. And to pick over her interview with him, I'm joined in the studio by Louise Lucas, our consumer industries editor. Louise, Diageo's just released results. How's it doing?
The numbers were pretty healthy, but more important was the guidance that they gave, medium-term guidance, which was pretty robust. And that contrasted sharply with some of the brewers that we've seen who've come out with really gloomy outlooks.
Now, Diageo's famous for having a very strong balance sheet. It's something Mr. Walsh is very proud of, saying it gives the company not just security in uncertain times, but also provides significant firepower in terms of acquisitions, on which the company spent £1.6 billion in the last year. So what is it that he has his eyes on next?
Clearly, if we look at some of the deals that we've closed out, usually we're buying distribution, local brands, and in so doing, particularly in emerging markets, giving us a jump start on our ability to then put our international spirit brands through those systems, and expect more of that.
So Louise, can we expect a string of emerging market deals from Diageo?
I think there will be more, definitely, but they will be small ticket items. Now, what Mr. Walsh would really like to get his hands on are some of the big brands. One, Jose Cuervo, they already distribute, and they are in talks now about how they will, about a possible acquisition of that asset, which we could see possibly, even within a couple of months. Secondly, Mort Hennessy, they would love that very much, Mr. Walsh would say. Diageo already owns about a third of that company, and as I say, would love to buy it. That, though, is in the hands of LVMH and Bernard Arnault, who seems to not at all to be keen to sell.
Exactly. Now, obviously, one emerging market acquisition that they have made recently is in China. This has given Diageo access to the enormous Baijiu market. Now, Baijiu is a hefty spirit drink and something of an acquired taste. It's often referred to by foreigners as firewater, but it would seem that so far they're having some success.
If you look at Asian duty-free, it is now, I believe, one of the top-selling brands in that channel.
Really?
As Chinese travellers take it as gifts to other markets outside of China.
And in what space of time is that? When did you start selling it in duty-free?
Oh, we have started pushing it in duty-free in the last couple of years.
Louise, can we put this down to some sort of cult following, a passing trend?
Not at all. Chinese tourism, as he says, is going through the roof. It's estimated in 2020 there will be 100 million Chinese tourists travelling around the world. Gift giving, very important in Asian culture, as in all cultures actually. So if you imagine even 1 in 100 drops off at duty free, buys a fancily packaged pack of Baijiu, takes it off, you're laughing.
Now, tax and regulation are, of course, a big concern if you're the head of a drinks company, and no more so when the pennies are tight and governments are looking for ways to boost revenues. Well, one policy that's being considered here in the UK is minimum pricing for alcohol, but Mr. Walsh is not convinced.
There is no question that in certain markets, the UK being one, there is a small proportion who create public nuisance by excessive consumption. And we are very keen to partner with government and NGOs to help overcome some of those problems. We do not believe that price intervention is a way to accomplish that. There is no evidence that it achieves the goals, and we think it's a very blunt instrument. If it comes about, we will obviously have to work with the government as effectively as we can to make sure that it's implemented in the most judicious way. We don't favour it.
It sounds to me a bit, Louise, there that he's expecting minimum pricing to happen.
I think he is, and I think increasingly in the industry people are starting to sweat that although there are a lot of legal obstacles and other obstacles, that actually the determination of Alex Salmond, who's leader of the Scottish National Party, to push this through does mean it will happen. The reason that's causing consternation is if Scotland succeeds, it could then well pave the way for other jurisdictions to follow.
Be serious news. OK, well, thank you very much, Louise. You can watch the full interview with Paul Walsh and see him play long short by clicking on the links. And you can also read more on Diageo's results by going to ft.com/beverage. Come back next week for another View from the Top.